Okay, Crystal, if you wanted to begin the meeting, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barb. So welcome everybody. We'll do our call to order now. It's 1:34. It's really nice to see everybody. It's our first meeting since February because of the pandemic and everything that happened this spring. I guess just a friendly reminder, if you do have something you'd like to say or comment on, if you can maybe just give me a wave, we'll kind of do a speakers list that way. There is a chat function too. If you have technical issues or you want to use that, you are welcome to. And we'll also just try to keep our own microphones on mute while other people are speaking, just to keep the audio as clear as possible for everyone. So I hope everyone received the copy of the agenda and has been able to read it over, either to print it or on another screen or in another tab. Is there any additions to the agenda this afternoon? Andre? You're on mute. Oh.
Okay, I just wanted to do a little statement, I'm trying to think now, about the transit with the degree of the ramp. I measured the ramp degree, so I'll mention that later.
Okay, so do you want that under public spaces or is it its own agenda item?
If it's a public space, it's for regarding the transportation.
Okay, so let's put that under 5.3 for public spaces. Is there any other additions to the agenda today? Seeing none, can we have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? Sharon, seconded. Was that you, Andre? And all in favor? Yep, okay, excellent. Next, we have the adoption of the minutes from our last meeting in February. Elizabeth, was that to say something or to adopt? Yep, okay, so motion to adopt by Elizabeth, a seconder. Andre, everyone's in favor. Excellent, moving right along. Under item number 3, we don't have any deputations or presentations today. We don't have any correspondence at the moment. So we'll go right into 5.1, and that is our accessibility officer update. So I will pass that over to Barb.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, it's a beautiful, I guess, fall day. It seems still like summer out there when I was out at lunchtime. I just wanted to mention a couple of things, and one of them would be that the COVID-19 accessibility resources, we do have resources to people available, to people with disabilities available, and others that want to take a look at it. And it's located under the city web, under the city website, under the Living Here and COVID-19 information. So there's an array of different topics listed under accessibility that is helpful, whether it be financial, whether it be to seek assistance in some way. So please have a look at those resources, and if something interests you, or let's just hope that it can be of assistance to people. I'd like to congratulate a couple of different areas or divisions within the city of Kawartha Lakes, and I guess one is the department, basically, or the division of Parks and Recreation. I had the pleasure of a nice walk through Logie Park in Lindsay, and I wanted to commend them for their efforts. Beautiful walkways, wide, paved, and the splash pad quite accessible. The washrooms, there are 2 accessible washrooms at the splash pad. What other? And the playground itself, they have used the rubberized matting. For a good majority of it, there's a center portion that has a different material or the fiber material, but well done. Some of the inclines are a little bit steep for someone in a wheelchair. They would need assistance if they wanted to get to some of the areas, but for the most part, the main play area that comes directly from the parking lot is quite accessible and very much appreciated. Also, I'd like to congratulate our transit services group for the funding that they've received from the government to assist them with improvements, accessibility improvements, and new routes, et cetera, to our transit lines here in Lindsay. That's basically just a slight update from me, Crystal. I know that the working groups, I've been working alongside both the groups, whether it be public spaces or public awareness, and I know that there is reports coming forward from those two groups as well, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Barb. So 5.2 is public awareness. We did meet earlier this week, and I will hand that to Elizabeth to provide some information.
Yes, our group did meet, and we came up with the idea of some short videos for the public to talk about how COVID is affecting accessibility issues. So we're just in the very, very initial stages, but that was one of the ideas that we had. And I think that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I think just the one thing I would add to that as well is obviously we weren't able to go ahead with our annual accessibility awards in June that we usually do because of the pandemic. But we're very hopeful that things might change for next year for 2021, or that with the time and planning we have, even if we had to do some sort of virtual version of them, that we will be able to go ahead next year and not miss them. I think that was everything.
And just to remind people that they can put in a nomination of a person or a business at any time. It's available. The application is available online on the city website.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are available year round. If you have any trouble accessing it, you can contact Barb or anyone on the committee and we can help you with that as well. Barb, did you have something to add too?
Well, I just wanted to make people aware of what the group is doing, and we're looking into providing some information sessions for people, especially our staff too, in the areas of mental health and hearing, and perhaps I have yet to try and make contact with someone at CNIB. I was thinking that it would be nice to hear from them as well. And, you know, I'm hoping to make those available to staff and maybe further available to the public as well. That's it, Crystal. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Barb. So next we have our public spaces group, and I'm not sure who's representing them today. Is there anyone here from public spaces that wants to share the work you guys have been doing?
It would be Andre, I believe.
Andre? Okay.
We've been doing, actually, there's a lot of plans are coming through for retirement homes. We're dealing now with, let's see, there's one on 37 Adelaide, there's another one by St. I just got that a few days ago, that another big 8-story building. So there's a 5-story building, there's an 8-story building getting built, installed for senior apartments. And so it's becoming very much that we are becoming a mecca for seniors around here, it seems. But so it's an ongoing little battle. We have to, try to make sure they do have, inclusivity. And but it's going well. And we did some work for the supposedly future, whether it's Walmart or a big, box stores on Coburn and Highway 35 area. So that seems to be going now more and more. I think this was the fourth submission, and everything seems to be going well. And they are accepting a lot of our recommendations, and so it's going well. I don't know if you want to say anything, Barb.
No, I don't really have a lot to add, Andre, other than the fact, we really appreciate the work that's being done, like I can't thank you enough, like, for the recommendations that have been made, like to site plan developers, and our own planning people are learning, from you, which is like really, really appreciated. That's about all that I would have to say, other than, Andre's a very busy fellow with lots of plans that have been sent his way, and we have to involve Gigi and Sonia into the realm of getting into this as well. Like, I think it would be good to, again, through our public spaces working group, sit down together, virtually, okay, discuss the plans. A lot of them are made available online through a shared link. So we will work again at trying to virtually share some of those things, and then get together virtually and discuss everything, so that we're all learning from each other. Thanks, Andre.
Oh, you're on mute.
One of the things, actually, it's a great idea. Right now, I know I'm doing one, and maybe it'd be good to have Gigi and, is it Sonia, that to, maybe I could, virtually, I could say, okay, this is what's going on, and get their advice on how to proceed, especially after second and third submissions. And sometimes the developer and the design team don't seem to want to move or do anything. So maybe we need some other eyes to figure this out. That would be great. But I wanted to mention one quick thing. I'm very proud to say that our planning department is quite devoted to hearing us. Even the last one with the Mariposa fire, it was just another quick little thing had to be done, and Ian Walker made sure that it went back to the developer, and then they came it back to me. It was, within a day we were able to get it done. But so they're not just saying, oh, well, we'll figure it out ourselves. So I'm really proud to say that the planning department is doing very, very, very well. Thank you.
Thanks, Andre and Barb. I also noticed there is a piece in the agenda about the Lindsay Transit Master Plan and the additional route. Did one of you want to speak to that?
It is within the agenda. Todd Bryant came to see us, and as far as the Public Spaces Working Group, provided a presentation on the fourth route that's going to be added, whereby there'll be access to places such as Logie Park for people where there hasn't been transit before. So wonderful new additions, and there's a few changes to the routes. I believe that the presentation will be made public shortly, if it hasn't already. I have to check on that, because it might have already come to council. And it's certainly within this agenda. So if people wish to observe the presentation and the routes for the change in the routes that are going to take place, please go on our agenda and take a look at Todd's presentation, Mr. Bryant's presentation from Fleet. Mr. Bryant was gracious. Well, he asked if we would support with a recommendation to council with the recommendation as shown below. So if, Andre, if you would like to make that recommendation on behalf, I know we had great discussions and we seemed pleased with the change to the routes.
I would like to make a recommendation to accept that motion for the our committee to endorse Mr. Todd Bryant's actions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I had a look through the report. It looked good. Do we have anyone who would like to second that recommendation? Gigi, thank you. And all in favor? Yep, I see hands. Excellent. Okay, moving along. 5.4 is our, 5.3. Sorry, Andre, did you want to speak about, you had another note about transit and the ramp for the buses. Do you want to
Yes.
speak to that now as well?
I know Todd's last name is Bryant, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, Mr. Bryant had discussed with us, and I told him about some situations there is at with the ramps for the accessible bus. Actually, all the public buses or the limo buses, they're all the same, and you have to get on a ramp to get in. And he stated that the ramps are at a 5-degree angle. Well, I have, again, through the phone, so it's a phone app, last week I was able to measure these ramps, and they're at a 13-degree angle. So we're talking quite a lot steeper. Makes it very hard for people with wheelchairs or people walking with a walker that has a hard time walking, would have a hard time getting up this ramp. And there has to be something done here. And I know some people are saying, well, I have my chair. When I go up the ramp, my chair is at a horizontal. It's not tilted, because obviously I did that once forgetting, and it's an awful feeling because it's a tippy feeling. But we have to discuss this with the transit again. They have disconnected the kneeling. There's a kneeling down aspect of the for the right corner, right front corner of the bus going down, so it makes it a little easier. But they've taken that off because there's a lot of issues because it breaks down. But there has to be another way of doing this, because it's somebody's going to get hurt, and then somebody's going to get hurt. Maybe that the municipality will get sued. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Andre. And Barb, do you have comments on that?
I do. Mr. Bryant did make contact with me, and he has advised Andre that he would like to meet with you, actually. And I said that you would probably be more than happy to show him what the problems are. So I think that would be a good way, okay, it would be a good way to just show him, like, what's happening. He did wonder, like, I know that he's replaced some of the traction mats on the transit ramps, because he realized that they were not, that they were worn. So he has replaced all of the worn traction mats. So that's a step. However, he did indeed say to me that he would take the time, he would meet with you, he would actually watch how you were, like, actually trying to get on the bus. And that way it will show him in person what the difficulties are. So I think that that's the only way really to help resolve this issue.
And Barb, through chat, Elizabeth just asked, what are the standards for the angle of ramps for transit?
Well, I always used, like, it should be at a minimum of 1 to 15, a minimum. And if anything, it's always nicer if it could be more towards the 1 in 20. So I am, if it's less than that, like if it's 1 in 13 that you're saying, Andre, that's not gonna work. Your mute's on, by the way. Andre,
Oh, Andre.
your mute is on, Andre.
Yes, I'll do the math. It was a 13-degree. So now I just have to do the math and figure that out quickly. Okay, I'll find out the answer.
Okay, and I think that's a good plan. And if you're able to go ahead and coordinate that meeting, I think that would be helpful as well. All right, so I think that now is it for public spaces. 5.4 is Counselor update, and I know we weren't expecting Counselor Elmsley to be here. He possibly was going to come late, but I don't think he's able to be here. So with that being said, we would ask for a motion to accept agenda items 5.1 to 5.4. So Barb and the working groups update. So if someone can make that motion. Elizabeth,
I would
thank you.
move that.
Thank you, Elizabeth, seconded by Sharon, and all in agreement. Excellent, thank you. We don't have anything under new or other business, unless I missed something, Sharon?
I actually just wondered if, and I realize it's very new information, but with the transit funds being awarded to the city, has there already been any discussion around where or how those funds will be used? And is there any opportunity that we as a committee could have, some recommendations go forward, around, say, the rural transit and that accessibility piece that, it's come and gone a few times. And, if there's other things that we want to discuss as a committee that we could put forward to council for recommendations.
I think, Barb, did you want to speak to that?
I was wondering if you were going to ask me to. I wish I knew that answer, Sharon, to be honest with you. I think that I'm quite certain when we do apply for funding, it's the application is specific already to what they intend to do, okay, with the funds that have been allocated. That being said, it doesn't mean for a future application, opportunity that we shouldn't prepare for that because, for instance, I know Durham Region, I've taken a look at their plan and how they are utilizing their funding, and I understand that they are enhancing their rural transit system, especially for those with disabilities. They have, they are using taxi services for very rural areas to give on-demand service. So is that an opportunity for us? Yeah, I don't know. Like, is that an idea for us? I don't know. I don't know all the answers. So, and one thing that has been said is that they would not discuss, like councils actually, they passed a resolution a while back that they said that they wouldn't discuss rural transit again, I believe, within this council term. So, it may tie their hands, but it doesn't mean we can't keep asking, for information on that or make suggestion as to what could be done.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Barb. Next on the agenda is our next meeting. And I know we've had a bit of change back and forth in what days we're meeting. Do we have something consistent set up right now, Barb?
We actually do, and I believe that I did send it through one of my emails. It is going to be the fourth Wednesday of each month for the month of October and November. So when I look at that, October's date will be the 22nd, if I'm correct, at 1:30. October 2020 would be the 21st, pardon me. No, 28th, you're right, Kathy, it is the 28th. Okay, because it's the fourth Wednesday. So the 28th of October. And I'm looking on my phone at this small print and I wear bifocals.
Okay.
I'm using that as an excuse, but
It looks like November then would be November the 25th.
November 25th.
Okay, and those are both at 1:30, and I'm assuming for the foreseeable future, we will be on Zoom.
Yes, for the
Okay.
foreseeable future, we will be on Zoom, yes.
So that's everything we had for the meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Elizabeth, Sharon, and all in favor? All right, so we will adjourn the meeting. It was really nice to see everybody. I know the working groups met over the summer, but it's nice to be back. If not in person, then face-to-face on Zoom is nice. And I look forward to meeting regularly over the fall with everyone. So thank you very much, everyone, and take care.
Thank you.